it was a little bit soft. But I end up hitting a tree with the trailer, not the truck. Let's see if we can find it. Yeah, this one right here. I hit that tree. Shattered everything. I clearly just can't win. Fuck. I didn't even see it. Here are parts in the window. You know, I don't know. I'm not the only one to hit something, I guess. I don't know what that is. Unless that is. Oh, you know what that is? I also, when it hit, it knocked the, oh, there it is. Yeah. That is the speaker. What happened was, you know, the road I was going down was pretty narrow and it had some little subtle turns in it, so I got through fine with the truck, but those little turns in the soft gravel and sand meant that the trailer ended up turning the wrong way and meeting a mesquite tree. Not a big one, but they don't like to bend apparently. So it pulled the speaker out, which I'm going to insulate that and cap it. And then the window, I picked up some of the pieces, taped it together, and taped the inside as well, but it, you know, clearly it's not going to be weatherproof, and it's got a little damage right along there, so that's got to get replaced. The door handle, it still works, but you know, hey. And then the door itself, the main part of it's fine, but it did take a little wrinkling, but it's mostly damage is right on this side, so I'm going to cut it off here, and just below the red up there, because I've always wanted to take this out because the weather stripping and it's dirty behind it. So that'll make it in the future removable if it does get broken. So I need to fix that as well. Okay, so I removed my awning because I'm suspecting it is leaking. And these plates are not, either they're bent, which it looks like, because it should be flush and it isn't. Same with, you can see the end one. It's not flush either. Plus, I was thinking that water is finding its way in to the trailer. So this is also another reason why I'm taking the awning off. I bought a new set of these. I mean, maybe they'll be fine if they're flattened, but ideally, it really should be anchored here. Maybe it's okay. But look how much wider they are. Might actually be a touch thicker. Not a lot, but it is more stout overall. So I removed this from here to get at the awning. On the outside, it's just a single. That's how they bolted it on for the awning. And every single bolt that held the awning on with this awning plate and did not need a socket even. And they all were hand tight. This is the microwave space. I removed the screening off of where the microwave used to vent, but I haven't insulated it and blocked off, but I'm going to block it off differently and fill it with insulation, so ignore that for the moment. But that's the new awning brackets on. So we're good to mount put the awning back on there, and the difference too is that you have to drill in, open the awning, drill a hole through the upper bottom lip, and then bolt it to the awning. Whereas before it was just these tiny screws applying pressure like this. So this is what it looks like with the speaker out. I'll be cleaning it up a little bit more. Get some of that black out. I cut out an ABS, 1/8 ABS circle. I'm gonna glue it to this because that's all there is, that 1/4-inch fiber kind of board, just to give it some rigidity, and then spray foaming this even. So all the stripes are now removed off this side. Black was up top, then the red. Then a red stripe here. Between the window and the door was black. All of it's gone. We got a new plan. Part of the reason I'm removing the speakers is I've always wanted to. I just thought they were a big waste of a hole, because speakers aren't as good as the portable Bluetooth ones I have. Way nicer. Probably costs more than this whole stereo system in the trailer does. And I'm going to cap it all in, but it was a question of how would I cap it in. And you can see the speaker got hit by a mesquite tree that does not bend, as you can see. So it really took a beating there, but I got a plan. So the speakers are removed, ABS backing up against the interior wall, and then I cut out some 1-inch styrofoam and then spray foamed in around it to help seal it. So I made the styrofoam slightly smaller to allow for that foam expansion. And I did that as well, which is the back of the microwave. I removed the antenna. I don't use it. It also pulls in a lot of condensation, especially in winter. And I removed the vent to the microwave, completely sealing it rather than partially. And I did the same down there. Now I've taped it all off, and I will put paper around it because I am going to paint the whole thing gray. Now that I've removed all the deckling, and to cover in, you can see the remains there, whoops, where the black sticker used to be along that top rim. So from that divider bar back to cover those 3 openings, I have cut this out to go up there. It's silver. We'll see how that looks, and if I have to, I'll paint it silver to match. And I put up a little test piece because it goes really close to the new brackets on the awning. So I wanted to make sure the awning would still go on. Here's part of the antenna, but you can see how it's corroding because of condensation coming in. Well, it's the transition of cold air that brings in through the nut assembly and the heat inside. And that's dripping moisture, quite a bit of moisture, inside the cabinet behind the radio, so no more. The window will be getting replaced at some point, but that covers the speaker and the damaged area. It's aluminum composite, 1/8 of an inch, and if I peeled this off, it will be red. So I'm just painting this aluminum silver color. And just to clean it all up, since I'm having to do work on the trailer, like remove the speakers because they got pulled out, smashed out, as I mentioned. I taped everything off, I washed it, I used alcohol to wipe the aluminum sheeting down. And if I haven't said, the aluminum sheeting is actually very thin. It's actually not a full sheet of aluminum, it is a composite. So thin sheet of aluminum with like a type of ABS backing. So I'm gone with covering the speaker here, so I went with red, silver, red. Red by the door. There'll be red strip there and a red strip there, and I will do something on the back side of the venting. So that will be a silver or aluminum color plate, and I'll see if I like the color with the new paint. If I don't, then I'll paint it a different color by itself. But for now, this is where I'm at. Someday I'll fix the window when I have the money, but right now it's the outside shell. So that's the same thing here. That's ABS sheet, same as the door. I also have to fix the door too, but that's fine. And that's an ABS silver sheet, 1/8 thick, that covers the venting tractor. And then I did the same here with the red ABS and silver ABS. And I'll continue a piece on the silver up the top to finish out like the black stripe was. This is the back side, which I've only just removed all the stickers, decals, and I've sanded it all. So at some point, I'll tape it all off, clean it, then alcohol wipe it and spray paint it. But they came loose off the wall. You could wiggle it, and I think I have water going in there. Plus there was water, actually, some of the screws for the speaker were corroded. And then this bracket here was half that size that they used to hold my awning on. So I also replaced those brackets as well for the awning. Also, to get to the awning, I had to pull this off, which I did. And then I added an inch of insulation and remounted it. Doing some backside painting. That strip up there is silver. These have got plastic on them, but they're going to be red, obviously. At some point, I'll extend that top 1 to 4 feet to where it was originally. Like the little, it's not a professional, it's going to be blotchy, but it looks a lot better than it did. I was thinking about painting the awning, but now that there's not a black strip up there, it doesn't look as in your face, so to speak. I'm going to fix the door next after I finish painting the back side. But that kind of gives you a look at how she's looking. And again, all this is just inspired because I wanted to cover in the speakers and I did a lot of damage right here. So I'm gonna try and fix the door. You can see it also took a little bit of a beating. So, just the portion that I added to help winterize it. On a happier note, I have painted the entire front, painted the entire side. I just cut off the framing for now because the plexiglass and all that, more of the framing got badly damaged. I got a new handle on there, Bill happened to have, and that's how this side looks. I just finished painting this side and peeled the tape off. It's going to be blotchy, but it's spray can painting. It looks a lot better. Like I say, I'm not going to get a professional to paint the trailer for thousands of dollars when I can just spray bomb it for what I do. And it's a trailer, even if it is my home. I really like the new brackets on the awning too. They're much wider and they attach more solidly to the awning itself. Plus I bought a garage trim to go between the awning and the wall so no water drips in behind the awning anymore. This red sheet will get cut to finish the red line on this side. And of course I just finished painting it. I got the silver up on top. It's 4 feet shorter than the original black decal, but I'm not worried about it. So these are covered in a film, but you'll see the red when they come off. And I gotta put the silver streak in and silicone around them, and that'll be. So on the shadow side, trying to keep out of the sun. Hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the notification bell. Let's roll. It's blotchy in spots, but it looks a lot better than it did. You'll really see the blotchiness on this side. I gave it a quick wash. As pretty as it's gonna get for me, because it's not gonna be sitting in someone's laneway looking good or in an RV park with all the fancy stuff. This is an off-grid trailer. So yeah, I washed it up. So real quick, I covered up that area there where they had the antenna, had the vent for the stove fan, and the vent for the microwave. They're just spots that were weak insulation wise, so I covered them. I don't need them. As well as the door that got damaged, I removed the plexiglass frame and plexiglass I had added. So what's going to happen is the ring of the door will become silver, and I will be adding a second window deal here, because this is just, I don't know, maybe 1/8, 3/16 plexi, so it's not enough for winter. And of course we know that story. And the fact that I covered in both speakers, which, you know, they're an inch deep in there, so they're filled with insulation. This all started because I had to fill that in, do something with that. You know, you can see the wrinkles in it from hitting, and there is a slight cracks in the light, but we'll see how long that holds out. And I did put a dent here, but there will be in the future something different here too. So a quick overview. Again, it was sprayed with spray balm. So, and I'm not an expert painter, so it's got blotches, but I'm fine with that. It looks better than it did. The silver up top there needs to go another 4 feet, and one day it will. I'll be putting a sun decal on there, and that's in the same theme as the Northwest Pacific native art. That's my girl so far. Hopefully, you know. I mean, you think about it, 6 years full time. It's holding up pretty darn well, all in all, and hopefully it will for another 6 and beyond, because I'm probably now in an income bracket that, and the way rent is, this is home. There you go.